What is she doing on the yacht? Why did David Boys want to question her? Why is she with Karina Shuliak? Why are there people in Megan's circle, social circle, that are in the same social circle as Andrew?
They say silence hits hardest inside Buckingham Palace, but in early 2026, it didn't just crack. It shattered. What started as a whisper at sea turned into a blast that reached the top of power. Many think the Sussex story began with a drink and a lucky Instagram follow, but there's a deeper, saltier version hiding under the surface for years. This isn't just a clean fairy tale, it's tied to yachts, billionaires, and secrets elites trade like cash. Now, after calculated signals from the inside, once upon a time is flipping into once upon a yacht. This goes beyond a life before the crown. It's a clash between a duchess shaping her future and a system that won't let the past disappear. Before titles, security, and headlines, there was a different Meghan. She didn't wait. She moved smart, building connections into circles most people never see. But the real power spots weren't in Hollywood. They were out on the Mediterranean, in the high-stakes yachting scene. Influence flows fast, champagne never stops, and access is everything. Rumors have long linked Meghan to these spaces, with photos from Saint-Tropez, Ibiza, and the Amalfi Coast, showing her fully at ease among the global elite.
We've got a Meghan Markle yachting. She thought of it as dating upward, and there are perks such as lifestyle and glamour and gifts of dating upward rather than yachting in the traditional sense. It was through her willingness to straddle the line that she fit right in with an organization, and that is Soho House, that has locations all over the world to facilitate meetings between the wealthy and the attractive people who are drawn to the wealthy.
But in 2026, those photos aren't just throwbacks. They're being treated like evidence. Insiders claim these weren't simple vacations, but carefully planned appearances. In these ultra-private circles, ambitious women are often invited to boost the vibe around billionaires and major power players. It's the world of yacht girls, a label loaded with controversy. While Meghan's team has always said she was just living her life as a successful woman, the story now being pushed feels far more strategic. The real question isn't just if she was there, it's who she connected with when no one was watching.
What I didn't know until very recently is that to facilitate a meeting she really desperately wanted, in the inside information of what buttons to push, she slept with the higher up, and that is Ronald Burkle, guy we saw at the beginning. He didn't and doesn't normally work on a quid pro quo basis, but he did that day and the next day, and for nearly 2 weeks, our actress was fully on board and got her meeting. And that is how Ronald Burkle got Meghan Markle an introduction to Soho House's Marcus Anderson.
Out there, far from headlines, the rules change fast. Secrets stay locked tighter than any palace vault until someone decides to cash in. The Mediterranean may look crystal clear, but its past is anything but. New 2026 reports point to a key summer where Meghan's circle started crossing paths with figures the royal family has spent years avoiding. This wasn't random, it looked intentional. But those elite gatekeepers don't forget, and they're not afraid to remind people. Still, that was only the start. The real shock hit when the online world began backing up what insiders had been whispering all along. Then things got even deeper when John Lefebvre, the voice behind the GS Elevator account, stepped in and dropped a claim that flipped the whole narrative. He didn't just hint at rumors, he pushed them straight into the spotlight. He pointed straight at a digital trail that couldn't be ignored. The public was told Harry and Meghan met on Instagram, a modern love story for the online age, but Lefebvre's claim hit much harder. He suggested Harry wasn't even the first royal connection she made online. According to these claims, her networking reached deep into Middle Eastern elite circles. Reports say she was often present on trips to places like France and Dubai, moving in spaces where privacy and image matter most. Lefebvre didn't hold back, calling Harry the dope who tried to turn a global social figure into a housewife. This wasn't just gossip. It challenged the entire image the world had been shown. It pushed the idea that the public version of Meghan, a self-made actress, might be missing a major chapter tied to powerful international circles. If even part of this is true, it reshapes how 2016 looks. It suggests she already understood how to move within worlds of influence and royalty before meeting Harry. That changes the story completely. The Instagram meeting feels less random and more like a final step in a bigger plan. And for Harry, it raises a tough possibility that he wasn't leading the story, but part of it. As this narrative shifted from romance to something more strategic, voices from elite circles grew louder. But an even more explosive perspective was building from inside the royal family itself.
Pull other people down and to question them and their behavior. Well, let's continue to turn the tables and talk about you, Miss Meghan Markle, and what you have done. Because as a aspiring actress and the things that Meghan will do for fame, we only can imagine what this woman was up to well before she was even on Suits, because she's a very ambitious, tenacious woman that wants this celebrity lifestyle. And I think she would have been like no other woman who was trying to find a break in Hollywood to do these kinds of things.
She knows the game inside out. She was pushed out of it and fought her way back. So when Sarah Ferguson casually dropped a line in early 2026, linking Meghan Markle to Prince Andrew's most controversial circles, everything froze for a moment. Calling Meghan Prince Andrew's first client wasn't random. It landed like a direct hit. Insiders think Fergie is playing a deeper game than it looks. She's watched the Sussexes control the narrative for years, presenting themselves as the main victims of a cold system. But Fergie understands that system better than most. By tying Meghan to Andrew, one of the most damaging names around, she shook that image hard. It sent a message. If the Sussexes want full transparency, the palace has its own version of truth ready to go. And the timing? Way too precise to ignore. As the 2026 Australia tour stories start building, these claims hit at just the right moment, pulling attention in a completely different direction. This feels strategic, not random. Every time Andrew's past comes up, new headlines about Meghan appear. It mirrors a classic royal diversion. Fergie isn't just speaking out, she's protecting her own side while making sure the spotlight shifts fast and hits somewhere else. She's the one holding the receipts, and now it looks like she's ready to use them to protect her own family. This isn't simple gossip anymore. It feels like a full-on power move, and the battlefield is getting crowded fast. But the most intense part of this 2026 wave isn't just the yacht girl label, it's the kind of company tied to it.
Here are the posts on Instagram that will have terrified Sunshine Sachs from Jessica Reed Krause, who writes, "This folder in my draft since 2018. There it is. It's circled Yacht Girl. One of us has been quietly tracking the cover up for 8 years, collecting sources and filing away testimony from all the people she's treated horribly. Scorpios don't sleep. They plot, sometimes for years. I have all the scrubbed info, Soho, Epstein connections, photos, and mistreated staff as anonymous sources detailing what it's like to work for her."
When yachting comes up in royal conversations, one name always casts a shadow: Jeffrey Epstein. It's the topic the palace would rather bury completely. But Fergie's comments did something shocking. They put Meghan Markle and Prince Andrew in the same conversation. Now, speculation is heating up fast. People are questioning where these worlds may have crossed. During those Mediterranean summers, Meghan was reportedly in circles close to Andrew's orbit. Similar guest lists, the same luxury spots, and the same high-level connections managing elite lifestyles. Some claims even suggest Meghan was known in those circles before meeting Harry. That idea changes everything. It raises the possibility the palace was already aware of her background, which could explain the strong reactions from the very beginning. It wasn't about her being American or an actress, it was about the circles she moved in. To London's quiet elite, Meghan wasn't seen as something new and refreshing. She looked like someone who understood too much about the parts of royal life meant to stay hidden. Not a fresh face, a potential risk. Now in 2026, with old photos and flight records being picked apart, the alleged Andrew connection is turning into a serious pressure point. For those who want the Sussexes pushed out of the spotlight, this angle is being treated like a final weapon. While the palace weighs its next move, Prince Harry is stuck right in the middle, and the ground is shifting fast. 2026 was meant to be his moment of payoff.
And maybe it will make sense now why Virginia Giuffre originally wanted Meghan to testify at her trial. So this could be a real mic drop moment. P. Dino.
Because we know that there is a lot of scrubbed data out there that pertain to Meghan. And absolutely, this whole thing around David Boyce wanting to call Meghan to testify, you just don't ignore that and say there's nothing there. There is a there, okay? And he knows it. And this, he knew it, the attorney, but also Jessica here. So why do people think that there is nothing out there if this was the story?
With major projects lined up and the Australia tour building buzz, he was ready to prove his side had won. But then the yacht rumors didn't just come back, they took over everything. Sources say he's been completely caught off guard. This wasn't part of the plan. He's spent years defending Meghan as someone targeted by a harsh system. But now a different story is gaining traction, one that paints her as someone who already knew how that system worked. Behind closed doors in Montecito, tension is said to be intense. Harry isn't just upset with the media. He's questioning the silence from the UK, asking, who's behind this? But the answer might be closer than he expects. In royal circles, silence can speak louder than words. It starts to feel like confirmation. As Harry heads into his 2026 appearances, friends say he's growing restless. The man who stepped away from the crown to protect his family is now facing a harsh thought. You can't shield someone from a past you don't fully understand. He's stuck between loyalty and rising doubt. Did he rescue her, or was he pulled into something bigger? Every headline makes that question louder. And as the pressure builds, cracks around the Sussex Foundation are getting harder to ignore.
I mean, this says to me that Meghan was in places she should not have been in. The monarchy and others, they tried to cover it up. But hey, she has all the files. She has seen all the information. And finally, it will now start to make sense to us. I mean, all the travel that she did, the places that she has gone, the things that she even put on her Instagram at the time. So I am very curious to know what it is that she has, because a lot is missing about Meghan's past.
But this reaction? It may be exactly what certain players wanted, because this doesn't look random. In London, information doesn't just leak, it's carefully placed. The timing in 2026 feels too precise. Ferguson's comments, the resurfacing of GS elevator posts, the renewed focus on those yacht years. This is the work of gatekeepers. These are quiet, powerful figures who trade information like currency. We're talking about senior editors, high-level fixers, and old guard insiders who've watched royal power shift for decades. Reports suggest this narrative was tested before going public, floated in private dinners in Belgravia, and passed through select media circles to measure the reaction before it fully exploded. They wanted to test if the yacht girl angle would stick or just fade as tabloid noise. The answer came fast. The public locked in on it. By the time Sarah Ferguson spoke, the stage was already set. The timing felt precise, hitting right as the Sussexes were trying to reshape their image and move past old controversies. This is how London's elite push back. No loud statements, no courtroom battles. They shift perception quietly, using truth or versions of it. By tying Meghan to the yachting world, they triggered a reaction that neither the palace nor Montecito could fully control. This isn't just storytelling, it's strategy in motion. And it's steering straight toward a clash between two powerful figures inside the royal orbit. On one side stands Sarah Ferguson, the survivor who's been through it all and has little to lose. On the other, Meghan Markle, the strategist with everything on the line. Insiders are calling this a scorched earth phase. Fergie spent years pushed aside, often dismissed by the same system she once stood behind. Now, watching Meghan rise globally with a similar outsider image seems to have sparked something intense, a response that's impossible to ignore. Ferguson knows exactly where the secrets are. She was once part of that world. By bringing up the yachting years, this isn't just a hit on Meghan's image, it's about leveling everything. It's like she's saying, if I had to face my past, so will you. And if that means tearing everything down, she looks ready to strike the match. This is a fight over legacy. Fergie wants history to remember her scandals as minor compared to what's now being said about the Sussexes. Meanwhile, Meghan is facing something harder to fight. You can't sue whispers and you can't shut down signals. As Fergie keeps hinting at payback, the Sussex side is left reacting to something they can't fully control. The polished image Meghan built is now clashing with a narrative that's messy, loud, and pushed hard by critics. Two very different worlds are colliding, and in battles like this, the one with less to lose often pushes harder. But the story isn't slowing down, it's shifting. As 2026 moves forward, the focus jumps from the Mediterranean to the Southern Hemisphere. The Australia tour, meant to be a big comeback, is turning into a tense spotlight moment instead. What should have been a victory run is now facing resistance. Reports suggest these rumors aren't just online anymore. They're showing up in real-world reactions. In cities like Sydney and Melbourne, the mood is described as uneasy, with protests becoming more direct and personal than before. Signs calling out yacht secrets and the truth about 2011 are now showing up at tour stops, turning the Australia visit into a full PR crisis. Security teams are struggling to keep things under control as tensions rise. Insiders say the Australian public, known for being direct, is reacting strongly to what they see as hypocrisy. For a couple that promotes honesty and openness, these resurfaced claims are creating a sharp disconnect. The tour was meant to prove their relevance, but instead it's highlighting how far a royal shadow can stretch. But the most intense part of this 2026 situation isn't happening in public. It's unfolding online. In elite tech spaces, there's talk of a project called Genetic Freak. The name sounds wild, but the concept is very real and tied to the future of digital influence. Reports claim advanced creators are building hyper-realistic visual reconstructions of these alleged yacht moments. Not cheap edits, high-end simulations with detailed lighting, lens effects, and next-level AI rendering that look almost identical to real images. The goal? To flood the internet with visuals so convincing they reshape what people believe actually happened. For Meghan, whose image has always been tightly managed, this creates a serious challenge. Because once these visuals spread, the debate won't be about facts. It'll be about what people think looks real. As the real-world protests in Australia collide with the digital push from the Genetic Freak project, Buckingham Palace is running out of time to decide. Do they let the Sussexes face the storm alone, or step in before the fallout hits the crown itself? Whispers from inside palace corridors suggest King Charles is being pushed toward a final move, a clear statement on the Sussexes' status. Not a defense, a separation. By officially distancing the monarchy from their private past, it would leave Harry and Meghan to handle these allegations on their own. It's a cold strategy showing a shift from protection to pure preservation. For Harry and Meghan, the message feels sharp. The pressure is rising and support may not be coming this time. Back in Montecito, the mood is changing fast. What started as shock is turning into survival mode. Meghan, known for reshaping her image when needed, is reportedly stepping back from the spotlight. With the narrative heating up, the focus is shifting toward major humanitarian efforts. It's a familiar play. When personal stories get too intense, the attention moves to global impact. But this time, the stakes feel even higher. The 2026 Australia tour, once meant to be a major comeback, is now being watched through a completely different lens. Every move is questioned, every moment judged for what's real and what's not. Prince Harry, meanwhile, is said to be in a totally different mindset. He's stuck between the woman he loves and a past that won't loosen its grip. Friends describe him as distant, restless. The freedom he chased in California now feels like another kind of trap, built from rumors and digital shadows. Crossing the ocean didn't cut ties with the palace, it only made the noise spread further. Inside the palace, the silence is loud. They're watching closely as cracks start to show, waiting to see if the Sussexes can hold strong, or if this growing narrative becomes too much to handle. There's no rush to step in. The story is already moving fast, shifting and expanding on its own. For the royals, it's survival. For Harry and Meghan, it's about whether their bond can handle the weight of everything coming at them. So now the big question hangs. What truth was worth shaking everything? And who's ready to reveal what comes next? Smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more because this story is far from over.